There's a little bit of a lowering here in the correlation coefficient. This is just to the west of Victoria. Victoria is sitting right here at the intersection of Highway 167 and Highway 125. And here in the reflectivity, you can see this little bit of a curl, this little bit of a hook right here in the reflectivity. Again, this is just to the south and the west here of Victoria. So again, if you live in Victoria, you need to be in that safe place immediately. We cannot overlook the damaging wind risk. We saw earlier the damages in central Alabama due to strong destructive winds. We could see those just as well as that line of storms pushes through. About 4:30 this morning. This is from the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, and this was right before sunrise. So the sun is actually hitting the exhaust that's coming out of the rocket. The highest chance to see some gusty winds will probably be in our western counties. Some tropical storm watch is already in effect for Covington, Crenshaw, and Okaloosa counties. Some of the models have tried to move Sally back off to the east, and even a couple models have tried to stall Sally out here just south of places like Dothan Island there off the Gulf Coast of Alabama. So still some uncertainty left over there with Sally. And then we've also got our white Midland NOAA weather radios. If you've already got one of these, it's already programmed. Make sure there's fresh batteries in it. Make sure it's plugged into the wall, and let's make sure you're ahead of the game here before these storms work their way into our region. So this is between about 3-4 o'clock in the morning. It starts working its way into the central portion of our area. So Abbeville, Dothan, Ozark, over toward Geneva, down toward Definiak Springs starts to get in on this. But let's factor in the wind speeds here. Most of them pretty generally out of the northwest between about 5 and 10 miles per hour. You factor that in. Feels even colder than that. How about lower 20s in some places? Feels more like 21 right now in Dothan, 22 Ozark and Enterprise. As you can see, way more lightning here on the western side of the line than it is on the eastern side of the line. So we'll have to see if that eastern side of the line can make it all the way to Dothan, provide us with some rainfall. This is another free app. Not only does it provide alerts to your location, you can program it for multiple locations, and you get preparation tips as well.
And now, from the Forewarn Weather Center, meteorologist Zack Webster.
A very sunny and dry day across the Wiregrass. However, we have been a little bit on the cooler side. Temperatures around the region in the upper 50s to lower 60s. We're at 59 in Abbeville, Blakely, as well as in Donaldsonville right now. A few more lower 60s as you work your way into the central portion of the Wiregrass. 61 Ozark, 60 in Dothan, 60 as well there in Definiak Springs. A little bit warmer here in the western portion of the region. 63 in Andalusia, 63 as well in Crestview, and 64 in Destin. The big thing is a lot drier air has worked its way into the Wiregrass. Dew points around the region in the 20s. Troy right now in the teens, so definitely some very dry air working its way into the region. It's helping to keep skies clear. It's helping to keep Doppler radar clear as well. No rain anywhere to be found there on Doppler radar. There's the wider view of the satellite radar. We don't even have any clouds to worry about here as we start to work our way through the rest of the evening and into the overnight hours. However, as you mix all of that together, it'll help these temperatures to fall fairly quickly here throughout the rest of the evening and into the overnight hours. By around 10 o'clock or so, we start to work our way back down into the middle to lower 40s. We keep cooling off from there. Middle to lower 30s in most places here across the Wiregrass, except for really right down along the Gulf Coast. The rest of us, middle 30s to go around. So another very chilly start there for our Saturday morning. A little bit more in the way of cloud cover works its way into the region as well as we start to make our way into Saturday afternoon. Partly cloudy skies, but despite that, those temperatures start working their way back into the middle to upper 60s. Then all of that cloud cover begins to clear out of the region as we start to work our way into our Saturday evening, into the overnight hours Saturday night, and into early Sunday morning. Another chilly start for us there for our Sunday, but a little bit warmer than what we've seen here for the past couple of weeks. Now, with those temperatures falling down into the lower to middle 30s, we'll have to deal with some frost and maybe even a little bit of a freeze here in the northern portions of our region. Crenshaw, Pike, and Barber counties under a freeze warning. For the rest of us, a frost advisory. You definitely want to make sure you have those plants covered up, brought indoors. You also want to make sure you bring those pets indoors as well. Down along the coast for tomorrow, Yellow Beach flags winds out of the east at 10 to 15 knots. Bays and coastal lakes, a moderate chop. That water temperature around 66 degrees throughout the rest of the night tonight. You combine the clear skies that we're seeing, that dry air that we saw, those dew points in the 20s, and those winds calming down as well. Light out of the north to the east, north turning toward out of the east later on tonight. You mix all that together, those temperatures fall fairly quickly here throughout the overnight hours. That low temperature around 36 degrees, and again, a frost and freeze possible across the Wiregrass. Then for tomorrow, we'll see a few more clouds, but despite that, we continue to warm up. That high temperature around 66 degrees. Those winds out of the east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then on to the rest of that 7-day forecast. Sunshine returns once again there for our Easter Sunday. That sticks around there for our Monday. Then as we start to work our way into our Tuesday and Wednesday, a little bit more in the way of cloud cover, but we start to see those temperatures warm back up into the upper 70s, lower 80s. We'll start to make a run for the middle 80s here as we work our way into Thursday. And then, Taylor, as we start to work our way into Friday, we'll see our next rain chance. But, I mean, really, when you're only dealing with next Friday being our only chance of seeing some pretty significant rain when you consider how the last couple of weeks have gone, I'm sure there's a lot of people that will definitely take this forecast.
Definitely love the break from the rain, that's for sure. Thanks a lot.
When temperatures begin to rise, our bodies begin to produce sweat. When the relative humidity is low, the sweat evaporates and cools us off. However, when the relative humidity is high, the sweat doesn't evaporate as much and don't get the cooling effects we should get.
Homes in Washington County saw extensive flash flooding due to Hurricane Sally. Now they are bracing for the second round. Wednesday, much of this area was hit with extensive rainfall so quickly that it flooded county roads and became a problem. The winter and early spring growing period can present some challenges. Colder air can produce frost that can harm the plants, and excessive rain can be a hurdle as well.